2 wins for Yapp so far, from a total of 9 matches played.
The first rack, Shane from Boening to break.
Dry break from SVB. Balls didn't split too good.
Second time tonight he's had a dry break in the opening rack. That was the case earlier on in a match against Joshua Filler, which he went on to lose. His first defeat of the tournament. Alban Ocean has taken the opening rack already on the other table against Joshua Filler.
Nothing obvious stands out. What I mean by that is your instinct. When there's an obvious shot, you just spot it straight away. Sometimes it takes a little bit of thought. Sometimes your brain as well, Michael. Sometimes it just doesn't work as clear as other days, and sometimes there could be something obvious on and you just don't spot it. Maybe that's just my brain, Michael.
Yeah, I didn't like to say, Carl. I guess that could happen, though. You've been playing a lot of matches and also waiting around for a long time between them. It gets late in the day. The thinking can become a bit scrambled, a bit slower.
And there you see, he took his time and he ended up playing a wonderful safety. Shane had loved to hit top left side of the 1 here. I know that's asking a lot, but there's a chance the cue ball could go behind the 7. Just a little on the right hand side of full ball. That looked like a bad shot, but it wasn't a million miles away. And I think he can pinch some of the pocket here, he can hit the rail, it'll slide in. Looks like the cue ball's going to go towards the 3 for the 2 ball. And that was a nice shot.
Nothing for Yapp to fear in the reputation of Shane van Boening. He beat him comfortably in the last 16 of the US Open on his way to the final. He looked very downbeat late yesterday and early today. He had that extraordinary match against Naoki Oi where he had 3 breaks and was dry from all of them. Oi, on the other hand, was having great breaking racks. At that stage, Yapp had lost 5 matches in a row. And he only had 1 win from 8 played. And that had been against Max Lechner, who at that point was losing to absolutely everybody. Sometimes it can just take 1 result to turn it round. And he won in a hill finish earlier against Oliver Szolnocki. Big ask to keep the momentum going here. But at least he's heading, it seems, for a positive start.
This is a lot more like Yapp, this. Now you see Alban Ocean on table 2. He's won the first rack. He's looking good in the second.
And if he does get to 2-0 here, he'll have done it in no time at all. Always a little test, those, when the cue ball comes close to the side rail on the 9. But Albin Ocean is playing so well, it was no problem to him. And he leads Joshua Filler in the clash of unbeaten players, 2-0. Back here on the main table, Aloysius Yapp has taken those very nicely. He leads 1-0 and he'll be breaking in the second rack. Did so well in last year with Darren Appleton as a last-minute replacement. There's going to be a bit of rivalry there, isn't there? Because I know Kelly wants to have another go with Allison. They were the Great Britain B team, but of course you as the C team almost ended up winning the whole thing. So you've got claims to have a place. I think there'll only be 2 actual nominated Great Britain teams. The third team came as a last-minute thing the last time. So the 2 of you might have to have a bit of a discussion as to what's going to happen there.
Oh, you want to see the cue back out, do you, Michael? Yapp takes a little bit of pace off the break, which is fine when you know the wing ball is dead. What that means in normal terms is the corner ball goes into the pocket. And this seems to have set up okay. Not going to be easy to get on the 2 ball because there's the red 3 balls in the way. And the 6 balls, it is a little lower, so it's not the easiest of shots. This is all about pace. He'll use the second rail. And this looks to be okay, does it? Is he going to make it? It's an anxious look.
It's touch and go. That would be so needless, really. There was no great problem to get on the 2.
Yeah, he's gone back for the jump cue, so that tells you he's not on it. He'll go close with this, though, that you can see how straight it is. He's just got to pop over half a ball.
Extension call.
At this level, your big favourite to pop this ball. So he's got to fancy his chances.
Man. Made the cue ball leap and stop pretty much on the spot, so he's nicely on the 3 as well. So recovered that situation very quickly. Well, I don't think we saw this coming. After all the struggles of Aloysius Yapp. Looks 90% here, 95 at least, to go 2-0 up.
And this is more like the Yapp we've seen at the US Open when he made it all the way to the finals. It really is.
And Boening under pressure here as he looks to avoid making it back-to-back defeats so far this evening. He's 2-0 down. Alban Ocean is zipping through this match against Joshua Filler. He's playing like a man possessed here. What do you think, Carl? Can he do it? Can he make it all the way through with 15 wins out of 15? I mean, he'll be well past halfway to that if he wins this one.
Yeah, I think he can. He's definitely the right man for the job. He still needs to play Jason Shaw, and I think he's yet to play SVB as well. And that is not going to help. He's missed the 8-ball by a mile, dropped his shoulder, and he won't be happy with that.
Yeah, it had all been very impressive stuff up until then. But you don't give chances like this to Josh Filler and get away with it very often. And indeed he hasn't. So just a few moments after it looked for all the world like it was going 3-0, Joshua Filler has closed to 2-1 down. That's what Shane van Boening is trying to do here as he breaks off in rack 3. And he's dry again. We talked about Aloysius Yapp in a match earlier today, having 3 breaks, coming up dry off all of them. Shane van Boning's 1 away from doing the same himself.
Often when a player does come up dry, you have a little look at the ref. Feel like they've not racked them correctly. That's just the pool player inside of you.
Explain that for us, Carl. What do you mean by that? In what way? I mean, obviously we know about these terms, but from a player's point of view, what is it that you want to see in the racking to give you that opportunity?
Well, if they're racked correctly, in theory the wing ball should go straight into the corner pocket. That's why sometimes a certain referee who might be refereeing a match, you might see a lot of the wing ball going in because they're finding the sweet spot, and then the next match you might see 3 or 4 dry breaks, and even when you sat here you're thinking, well, what's going on here now? And they're just not quite getting them all touching and where they should be. Just the smallest of margins can make such a big difference.
So that's the key, they've all got to be touching. That's the most important element of it.
That is definitely the key, which isn't easy to do, by the way.
Yeah, especially as a tournament goes on and you get little indentations in the cloth. Only tiny ones, but it's enough to make the difference.
But of course, when you're sat in your chair and you're watching your opponent break, you're hoping they don't pot a ball on the break. So,
extension, please.
Yapp's got a chance at this 1 ball, full length. It's quite a bit of an angle, so he's either going to float this ball in.
That's the shot of a player who's growing in confidence, but has he overrun it? Or is he just okay here, Carl?
Yeah, it definitely looks like he's overrun it a little bit too much. Any softer, and he was probably not hitting the cue ball as confident as he would have liked.
Alban Ocean has just made a banked 3-9 combination to win the 4th rack against Joshua Filler and go 3-1 up. Omar Al Shaheen is out in the arena watching that. He's spent a lot of time out there today between matches. Here it is, the combination. So putting that unexpected lapse in the previous rack behind him very quickly.
Seem to see Shane jumping a lot of shots in this match so far, don't we? Every time he comes to the table. He needs a jump cue, and that ain't going to work. There's a gap past the red 3 for Yapp.
Well, he must be sensing the opportunity here. Things are really going his way. Wouldn't be a landmark victory. He beat Shane van Boening, as I was saying, over a much longer distance in the US Open last year. But in the context of this tournament, it'd be a lovely way to finish the day and give him renewed hope that he can get back into this. He's definitely placed in the strugglers category at the moment in this Premier League.
That was a nice shot, drawing away from the 5 ball, kind of a delayed screw back. So he was coming more down the centre of the table. Just walk round to check the angle. It's important he leaves a nice angle to get back for the 7, because the 7 only goes in the top left pocket. Now he's just going to run the cue ball into the 8 and just bump the 8 a little bit and play the 8 in the top right pocket. He played it the other way, played a stun shot, half ball, to tee the 8 up in the same pocket as the 7. See Shane can't, he just sat there wondering what's going on, but there's not much he can do. He's not made a ball on his breaks, has he? And every time he's come to the table, he's had the short stick in his hand.
Yeah, 2 dry breaks, as you say. But that's only been part of the story. Aloysius Yapp, more than halfway to a really good win here. He leads Shane van Boening 3-0. More to follow. We've seen a few unexpected results here on day 3 in Milton Keynes. Mieszko Fortunski beating David Al-Kaidi probably falls into that category. Perhaps Max Lechner's win over Jason Shaw as well earlier this evening. And maybe another one on the cards here. Aloysius Yapp 3-0 up against Shane van Boening and with the break in the 4th.
Cut break this time for Yapp. Takes a little bit of pace off it. The ones hit the middle point. And it's come back in at the 9 and he has left himself a pot. Look at this. What a way to set that up after the break. Cue ball is going to be running into the 9. He can't really avoid that.
Joshua Filler is close to 3-2 down against Albin Ocean on the other table. Ocean's just had a very good break though in the next rack. Potted 4 balls off it and he's on the 2.
I wonder if he's going to try and draw the cue ball off the 9.
Extension called.
The only other thing is, if he tops the 1 ball in, if he can hit the left side of the 9, that won't be too bad. Might be close to potting the 9, just depends on what angle he's got. Delightful shot.
Yeah, he's a world away from the downbeat character we saw earlier today and last night. His shoulders were slumping, seemed to be lacking belief. But somehow he has restored it. Something else that's been restored is Albin Ocean's 2-rack advantage over Joshua Filler. He's just gone 4-2 there. Remember, both of those players, 8 wins out of 8 so far. So the winner will be the last remaining 100% player. Mentioned his US Open exploits last year. He's also a semi-finalist in the World 10 Ball back in September in Las Vegas, beaten narrowly by Eklant Kachi. A match which actually had to be suspended for more than 2 hours because of a thunderstorm which cut the power in the venue.
This has to be said, this has been a much better performance from Yapp. Looks much more like himself. And what a time to do it. He needs the wins. He's going to be running out of matches.
Shane van Boening, it seems, is going to be breaking off in the next rack, facing the very real possibility of being whitewashed. That dream is very much on for Aloysius Yapp from Singapore. He leads the legend that is Shane van Boening 4-0. So he's on the hill. Albin Ocean is also there on the other table against Joshua Filler. A chance to complete the job here. Definitely going to be in the second phase, but he's racking up so many wins. Might not need to do much in that second phase to get through to the final day.
This is a nice shot to leave himself off the rail. I think he's okay, he can spin this in. Attention, please. Another missed pot. Now it has to be said, doesn't it, Michael? He has missed a few balls in a lot of his matches, but he still seems to be winning.
Yeah, I mean, he's had maybe a bit of good fortune along the way, but I think he's been doing so well over the last 12 months. He's got a bit of an aura about him, and as often happens with people in that position in any sport, that can help them along. But he also does seem to have a great knack for finding a way to win, whatever the circumstances.
Yeah, well put. That is a big thing. They always seem to find a way to get that W.
I think you've got to have that knack, haven't you, to reach the top of your sport?
The fifth wreck. Shane Van Boening to break. Training for.
So SVB is having a mare on the break in this match. But he's made the ball this time. Good cue ball control as well. And the 8 has come as a blocker. It just looks like it's going to be one of their matches, this. Up next on this table, following this match, Eklund Katche. He will be playing Oliver Szolnocki. I was with Eklund just before this match started, and we were watching his younger brother play in the under-21 World Snooker Championships online.
Yeah, he's going well in that tournament, and he's really been talked up by Eklund Katche. He's talking about him making it onto the professional snooker tour. Now, that's a big leap. Never been anyone from Albania on it that I can recall.
Well, if you don't know, nobody does, Michael. With your snooker knowledge.
Well, there was a time when you had hundreds of players on the professional snooker tour, and some of them came from very unlikely places. But, yeah, nobody from Albania.
It was a neat shot. Tried to kick it in the corner. Knew the cue ball was going to stay behind this wall of balls. Now, can he get through the 9-ball and the pink 4? If he can, that would just sum this match up for Shane.
Extension called.
Surely not.
Well, from there, it doesn't look like it. Maybe if we can see the overhead, we'd be able to tell. Well, we'll find out now. Anyway, he's getting down to play the shot. And this is what's happening on the other table. Well, there is the overhead. Yeah, maybe there is room. There is, you know. Wow. And you're right, Carl. That really does say so much about this match. Joshua Filler really wasn't looking good from early on. But he's clinging on so well there. 4-3 down now against Alban Ocean. That's anyone's.
The gap Yapp has just found there just sums this match up for SVB. But the beauty of this event is it's not just one match. And if you lose, you're on your way home. There's plenty of pool left to be played. And he's doing all right, is Shane. He's going along nicely.
Yeah, won his first 5 matches. And the one defeat he had was against Josh Filler, and he's been beating everyone else so far.
Again, the jump cue. He's trying to go rail first, I think. Yeah, good shot. And he finds the gap. And of course, he stays over the pocket, Shane.
You love to talk about the pool gods, Carl. I think Shane Van Boening must have done something to really anger them today, because they're giving him nothing.
Check this shot out. Jacked up, full table draw. He will probably try and use the side rail to help him get back. Didn't want to go nowhere near the side. Very fortunate not to scratch in the end.
Yeah, again, He's had a result there. He's getting those little rubs, little bounces. Van Boening really isn't. But listen, let's not take anything away from Yapp. He's played well here.
Yeah, he has indeed. It's been one of his better performances.
Play so many matches in an event like this, and over the course of a year, over time you probably forget nearly all of them. I would suggest Aloysius Yapp is unlikely to ever forget the day he beat the great Shane Van Boening 5-0, if that is to be the outcome. The thing is, he's got a long time to wait now till his next match. He's finally got a bit of momentum going. Looks like it's going to be back-to-back wins for Yapp for the first time in this tournament. And then he isn't involved at all in the early session tomorrow. Has to wait till the evening for his next match against Kelly Fisher.
10 seconds.
Well, how do you fancy this to complete a famous win?
Yeah, this is very thin, stretching as well.
Oh, but it's job done. The 9-ball just topples over, dies of exhaustion. And Aloysius Yapp has beaten Shane Van Boening by 5 racks to 0. It's back-to-back defeats for Van Boening. He's still in very good shape, though. But it's consecutive wins for the first time in this Premier League for Aloysius Yapp. 3 wins.